equilibrium that the service provider is able to negotiate with the user. Yeah.
And I think there's a principle here.
The challenge there is that, which I got it, at the Kenya Panel Lighting, who do you start work with is the problem. There's a lot of bureaucracy along the way.
No. They had, you know, Kenya is kadogo economy. So every institution is trying to come up with a kadogo kind of. And kadogo is a small users.
Thanks.
Yeah. Kenya Power had a department that was going to the people. And if you have been watching and listening to Rainsaba and Soweto, there are times they got Umeme Pamoja. Umeme Pamoja is writing together for the poor, for the informal settlement. And that's where the name was changing now from informal settlement to people settlement. Because they came with it. And they wanted to give people settlement power,
So,
electricity.
So the thing is, how do communities get in this?
And that's how Kambimoto was able to negotiate with them and get connected to their houses. Yeah. So you begin from somewhere. Even you begin by talking to the customer care.
And
then you
Yeah.
So you have to investigate. You have to.
No, but what I can do always is just to bring the organizers together in an area and let them do it, because
strategize. And
but the organizers should be ready to engage with the poor and the service provider. That's where Pamoja comes.
And I think that there's a principle here, and I think this is for us, and I think in the case of CEO as a practice, we need really to, connect with what is currently happening, the issues at the time, Otherwise we'll just remain old and boring.
I don't know whether it's a training or something.
We don't,
my teacher is
sometimes I get that sense, We need to come out of this thing,
But
the
then
CEO way. We need now
Teacher Nganga, I don't know whether the CEO itself
we need to find a way of
wants to pigeonhole us.
to talk it. Like now, for instance, I'm really happy to hear, and this started, kuna organizers who actually come from right within the settlement. They stay there and they're organizers.
We actually call them leaders.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you see, this was a battle before. There was, till one particular moment, I believed that, you cannot get communities to organize. Then I think there was a few experiments, Ankan and Magic, when I was there, we worked in a community. You were there, Yeah, and it was received a lot of criticism, and So again, the thing of, do we want to remain old and boring, or do we need to find new ways in which we can become more appealing, across the sectors,
We
so that
also
we're
get
everywhere.
ourselves.
Yes.
We expose ourselves. Let's get
And
exposed.
sell the principles.
Let's have some case studies that we can expose ourselves to. Yeah? And even when we are fundraising, I'm sorry, I don't know who is copper here. I'm a member, but that we also need to incorporate exchanges, not just for going out, but then we need to know how people grow as a profession, not just like a member, but then as a profession we need to nurture our own profession by exposing ourselves, not to be victimizing and saying, oh, that's marginal Fanisi the way they do it. Why did the CEO within marginal Fanisi agree to do what they are doing? What is this that is motivating me to stop just the normal organizing, to organize in another way?
So I think we have a lot of work. But I mean, the rules, the fundamentals will remain the same. But I think this is the spirit with which you are organizing the CEO conference. So that we can talk about these things. Hopefully,
An organizer without an organization is a fish out of water, though.
I wish he was.
The notion that you can be an organizer mediating between a utility company and a community. I don't see how you do that.
Somebody
I don't see how you
shake people.
I mean, as an organizer, I've organized thousands of people to prevent shut-off of utilities, to lower utility bills, to force utility companies not to build power plants or not to, but the notion that they're ever going to turn to an organizer as a middleman between the community, I don't know how that's possible.
You don't become a middleman.
Well,
you are just able to
facilitate.
But they're the opponent. They're the target of the campaign.
The power, you talked of people's power. You are empowering people to be able to challenge the issues. And that's what happened, and that's why you hear Pamoja Trust has been doing water. It's not that we want to do water because there is Nairobi water. But Mathare had been disconnected from water because of the water cartels and not being able to pay water and the illegal connections. So the water company was losing a lot of money, and therefore it's like they said, we better just disconnect them. But then we could not just watch and see people
Who's
go.
we? Who's we?
Pamoja, I was working with Pamoja.
Because that's
Trust.
the organization.
Before I went to the jobless corner, I was working with Pamoja Trust. So it's like, then what do we do?
And is it a membership organization, or it's just an advocacy organization, or it's a development organization, or what is the
Development
management?
organization.
Not advocacy.
Advocacy also.
Okay, development
So
organization.
all I'm trying to
has
see
all
is
those
what
components.
base you represent.
Yeah.
What base in that community are you representing?
Uh,
See, what I understand what an organizer is who works for an organization.
Yeah.
An advocate is often just talking for themselves.
No.
And I'm wondering how you get accountability as a community organizer.
We, as a community organizer, you are going to the community just to sensitize, and that's part of
To do what? To
sensitize the community.
So you're going to talk them into getting ready for something to happen to them?
Yeah, you're just going to ask.
So you're going to
but also,
facilitate.
I don't know. I'm
Who are you representing then? The utility company?
No.
I think we're,
Because I don't understand if you're sensitizing somebody to somebody else's interest.
You
I think
have,
when you're not
no,
listening.
I think if,
Oh, no, I'm listening.
No, you're not
I'm listening
because
because I'm not agreeing.
yes, that's what I'm not questions.
I'm not agreeing. I am listening. And that's why I'm getting,
So
and
listen,
I'm scared.
here
If you gave
we have
me-
a
if
bunch
you
of
gave-
very
I don't know.
experienced
yeah,
community organizers.
I don't know
What?
who is the chair of this meeting, but if I can be protected from you, I can convince you. You can agree because you say you are not agreeing, and you are
Well,
not
I'm
agreeing.
asking you,
No, he's
because I don't
asking you
understand
good
who you
questions, eh?
represent.
Nganga, protect me if you're
Yes.
the chair.
I'm
And
not.
What's the question?
I would explain.
What's the question?
Because he doesn't want to give me time to explain. Yeah.
So what's the question?
No, the issue is we're trying to his understanding of what a community organizer's role versus what you are saying. You know that you can mediate, you can be a person between the community and the utility company.
providers.
And that's confusing me. I'm not
Yeah.
attacking you, I'm just confused.
Because an
Because he
organizer is
doesn't
supposed
want
to
to
be
listen to
no.
me.
An organizer is
That's wrong,
supposed
sister.
you know what I'm
No, he wants-
supposed to
he-
say.
He doesn't want to give
An
me time.
organizer-
So we give you
I'm
time.
listening
So we give you time to explain.
So
Just
are we
wait.
talking about a campaign context or a normal day-to-day organizing context?
Wait, return.
Because there's
Let's
an organizer.
let her finish. Let her finish like what she
On
was
water.
saying. The issue of
Whether you
Mathare.
because
whether you are
someone-
day-to-day organizer or not, you cannot just watch if there is something you can do for the community. Even if I was passing through Kibera today and there is an issue that I can be able to help, I think one of the qualities of a community organizer is to be able to ask questions and evoke the communities to discuss things. So even if I wasn't working with Pamoja Trust and I was passing through Mathare and there was no water, you ask Mathare people, what can we do to get water?
Sensitizing.
Yeah. So without even wearing the hat of Pamoja Trust, as a community organizer, the first thing is you've already seen the issue. You identify the issue. How many people are affected by the issue? Yeah? And if they're affected, you have to make them angry and feel that this is something that they can work on. Who is the target? And yours is to help the community identify the target. And the target is a service provider, whom you will now mobilize the community to go and meet there. service provider. And if you have a way of sensitizing even the service provider, you go ahead and just tell him people are suffering and they are coming to see you because of this. Then you are the middle ground, because you'll be able to talk to the service provider and the community. That's what I meant.
So the question is, you are talking to them as who? That's what you are?
I've now said you can talk to them as a community organizer, whether you're employed or you are at a jobless corner like me.
Because we
So-
have
so
what
you-
is
you-
called
you have
culture
a-
of silence, we
Yeah.
have to break the culture
So
of
you
silence.
talk with the
and,
community,
Yeah.
they have understood you, they've given you the mandate, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know? So I think, yeah.
And so the conflict I have with that statement is that if you build an organization, you're talking to people and building an organization, the organizer doesn't put themselves above the democratic interest of the elected leadership of that organization or the organization. The organizer supports that organization attacking the target, engaging the target, even negotiating with that target, not,
Doing it.
yeah, the organizer doesn't get in the middle between the organization that they're serving and the target that they're fighting. I mean, I don't know how that works. It's outside of my experience. As
I
a
think
lawyer.
you're saying the same thing now.
I hope so.
It's just
I'm not feeling it, but maybe we are.
you know,
Maybe we are.
that's exactly what she.
Whenever she says you're then going to sensitize the target, why are you doing that? 'Cause
I think
why not allow
there's a-
people to speak for themselves?
There's a rule.
What are we doing here?
There's a rule, because there are many forms of organizing in my understanding, yeah? But there's a rule, one rule, when it comes to mobilization. So that mobilization is successful, the target has to be prepared. Let's say it's the county governor, and the people want to demand, or just a space where somewhere they can put their garbage. A simple thing in the community, very simple, non-threatening. But yet these guys have never faced the governor, not in their lifetime, and they're afraid. And you want to help them also overcome, what do you call it? That fear. That process has to be animated. The people you're working with, you're helping organize, and the target has to be prepared so that there is actually good engagement that is beneficial to the process. There isn't
47 years in this work, I've never heard that in my
radical
life.
organizing.
No,
No,
the
radical
target, you
organizing.
You
How
go,
to prepare the
you're
target.
saying to me that you would go to the target to
You don't
prepare them?
prepare. No, you don't prepare the target. That's what you're saying. Because there's no way you can tell the governor, people are coming here, prepare like this. So what is happening? You prepare like what we do on
Yeah.
break. That is the bit which you don't. We are mixing up. There's no way you can go
Did I
and
say-
prepare
did
the
I-
government.
did-
Yeah,
did-
you said that is
Did
what
I
you
say
said.
you go and
That is what was implicated.
that's what I'm
there. So I
asking.
think
Is that what
yeah,
you're
that is
saying
what he
now?
has been saying, and that is what she has been saying, which we don't, which
And
is
that-
not understood.
So what-
You
or
don't-
maybe I'm just
not the
confused,
target.
it's
You
very
don't
possible.
prepare the target. You prepare the beneficiaries, the people you are
Prepare the
mobilizing,
leadership to
not the
handle that-
target. So
that
that is the
action.
language. It's just a bit of the language mix up.
so I think we are saying the same thing. The interpretation is what is the issue, no?
And the school of thought.
But yeah, we have organized.
No, you
Florence.
know when you
prepare-
No, listen to Florence.
Preparing
When you
the
look-
target has
We
never been a
have
feature
organized, we
here.
have track record in organizing, no? We are not just talking out of vacuum, no? I've worked as an organizer since when? 1993, so I know what I'm talking about. It is worked.
No, the question here is, Olita,
Mm.
it is
We are not
the term target. Who is the target? If Peter Nganga is the target, I'm preparing the people.
okay,
Do
let
I
me-
go and prepare Peter?
let-
The
let me-
people are coming.
let me ask-
That is
let-
simple
let-
thing.
let
Which
me-
is saying it's not
I-
correct.
Let me enumerate.
I think
let me-
we don't read
not
that.
an
let me
issue.
let me spell out what is preparation.
Yeah, then you
Yeah? You see, there is an appointment that will need to be made. Okay?
Maybe,
There is an appointment that will need to be made
maybe.
for the what do you call it?
That's not a rule. Sometimes you do an
Yeah.
action without an appointment.
Yes.
Sometimes they refuse to give you an appointment and you do an
Yeah.
action.
Actually, you may
Yeah,
not
they-
want
We have a lot of options tactically.
Yeah. So there is that. It has to be prepared. Whether is a specific meeting point that is going to happen, or it's going to be spontaneous, it has to be prepared. There is somebody who's going to speak. That person has to be prepared so that it doesn't get blackout.
That's certainly true.
Yeah. There is, you know, the venue, the context, the stage, where the argument or whatever is going to take place, the protest is going to take place, has to be prepared. All these things have to be. That is part of preparation of the target as much as you're preparing.
It is like information, like for example.
So on one part, you'll be doing things like role play, okay, and on the other hand, you'll also be facilitating an environment whereby all these, what do you call it, all these protests, all this confrontation, all these arguments, all these discussions can take place.
They are not.
Whatever that at the end of the day needs to be achieved. So the target has to be prepared.
It depends on whether it's a negotiation or it's a demonstration.
Yeah.
If it's a demonstration, you don't need to prepare the target, see the target.
Of course, you just
They just see some people coming with all the
placards and making noise and.
But if it's a negotiation where you want services delivered in a proper way, not protesting, then it has to be
negotiated.
But even
and before the negotiations, why I use the word prepare the target, it's because if you are CEO, you've no fear. You are able to knock the office of the target, either with a few of the community members whom you have prepared, or even or even on your own, that I would like appointment with this community on these things. So it depends on where we are looking at it from.
And
I
it
think
works.
We are
in my memory, in my memory, it works.
I think you're coming to any
does.
agreement with that. Nganga, you're right to say something.
Please let me beg to leave because I have a sick person I'm seeing and I have another meeting at 5:30. So I want
Then it's
to
time
cut
for all of us. This has been a great session. But I think we promised people it wouldn't be more than an hour and a half.